So last couple of weeks, I've been tooling around on this Ducati Scrambler 1100 Sport, and a proper little hoon machine it is, very cool. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect when I first got it. I thought maybe it might be a bit form over function. You know, the whole retro bike scene's pretty big at the moment. Wasn't sure what it would, what its sort of dynamics, riding dynamics would be like, whether it's up to sort of modern sports bike standards or if it's built to more for show than it is for go. But yeah, didn't need to worry. I mean, the thing's awesome. Starting at the front, we've got Öhlins forks at the front, fully adjustable. They work really well. I haven't needed to touch them at all. At the rear, we've got Öhlins shock, and again, fully adjustable. When I picked it up, it was a little soft, honestly, and so I tightened up the preload, added a bit of preload to the rear spring. No problem at all since then. I've done a bit of two-up on it as well, and the same, no issues. Really, really good. So brakes, Brembos, radial calipers up front, and they lack a little bit of initial bite, honestly. But this is typical of all modern bikes. I think it's a characteristic of ABS, honestly. ABS tends to rob bikes of that initial feel. This is no different. But once you've got past that, once the pad starts to bite into the disc, awesome, really nice, progressive, really nice feel from the brake, and if you need it, there's plenty of stopping power. Very good brakes. Rear brake, same, really good. ABS on the rear brake as well. And the only complaint I had about the rear brake, honestly, is for me personally, I think the lever is a little bit too far down, so my foot's kind of rotated a bit too much. But if it were my bike, I'd fix that. I'd just adjust it. It's easy enough to do. The Scrambler Sport, this one, has Pirelli MT60 RS tyres on it, which are kind of a semi-knobbly tyre, I guess, for that sort of Scrambler look. And to be fair, it probably gives it a bit of off-road capability as well. At first I wasn't sure what to make of them. I haven't done a lot of off-road personally myself, so on-road I thought maybe there'd be a bit of a compromise here. And, honestly, sort of pushing on with it, you get a tiny bit of movement on the tyre, but really nothing at all. Not anything like you would expect from a knobbly tyre. They grip really well. I haven't had any issues at all. It's got ABS and traction control, but I haven't seen anything come on, no lights or anything like that. It doesn't do anything daft when you're cornering. Get it leant over on its side, gas it up out of a corner, and it's really nice. It grips and it fires out of a corner. Talking of that, so it hasn't got massive, on paper, the figures aren't desperately impressive. It's got about 86 horsepower, something like that, and about 88 newton meters of torque. So not massive figures for an 1100 anyway. But I don't know, it just it doesn't ride like the bike that you're reading about. It's dead punchy coming out of corners and out of roundabouts. Seems to be more torquey than 88 newton meters of torque suggests. But it's good. It loves firing out of roundabouts. Pitch it into a roundabout second gear, lay it on its side, get it round the roundabout, and then second, third, fourth gear out of a roundabout. Use that mid-range torque between about 2.5 and sort of 7,500 revs. That seems to be where the fattest torque curve is. Really nice wide spread of torque. You don't need to rev it out. There isn't much up top, and then down below about 2,000, it's quite vibey. You've got 3 rider modes on the dashboard. Not that you need them, honestly. It's only 86 horsepower, like I mentioned before, and it's very friendly anyway. So I haven't bothered changing them. Like, you don't need to, I don't think. But they're there if you need them. If you felt in the wet or something, if you wanted to dial it down, easy to do. Yeah, and it's good. You've got gear position indicator, fuel level indicator, temperature, speed, revs, everything. Everything you normally have, and it's quite a nice, funky little display. Fuel gauge is a little temperamental, honestly, but it's a Ducati, isn't it? Now, interesting point that. I don't know if Ducati have done it by accident or if it was done on purpose or what, but when you start this thing up in the morning, it's kind of like, it's like our old bikes used to be. You thumb the starter and it reluctantly fires, and then it's a little lumpy on idle. And it's kind of a little bit uneven and doesn't seem to really want to get going for the first couple of minutes, and then it warms up and it's fine. And most modern bikes don't do it. They just don't. Thumb the throttle, fires up, idles perfectly immediately, no problem at all. And I dig it. I really like it. I like that Ducati have engineered in some sort of character, whether it's by accident or whatever. I don't care. It's really cool. And talking of character, the engine. Interesting thing. Plenty of torque, goes well, unmistakably Ducati. Not the most refined thing in the world, honestly, but cool, and to go with it, I don't know how Ducati have done this, but these standard cans, they make quite a nice racket. There's quite a nice bark as you're accelerating, and then on overrun there's quite a deep burble, and as you get lower down the rev range on overrun, they sort of start popping and a little bit of a backfire here and there. It's really cool. Yeah, really nice. So in terms of looks, what can you say? I mean, love it or hate it, I really like the retro scene. I think it's very cool. I'm an old boy now, so for me it just really works. This one particularly I like, kind of a matte black with yellow stripes and gold hole-ins, and the seat, Alcantara style seat, Alcantara and leather with yellow stitching, works really well. It's got some kind of funky little details, like it's got these extra side panels, or I don't know what you call them, on the side of the tank. Just styling details, but yeah, short mud guards and stuff like that. It really works for me. It's awesome. Under seat exhaust and stuff. Yeah, really cool. I like it. I definitely urge you to go and try one if you haven't already.